And subjective judgment probability is what was developed by the probabilist. The probabilist is someone who develops an idea on probability. And it was developed by D. Finetti, and it is the most intuitive definition of probability. Intuitive meaning it is cognitive, that you make you're making a theoretic judgment. Indeed, according to this approach, this subjective judgment approach, the probability of an event is the degree of belief, meaning it is a personal attitude. What is the belief of an individual? So, in the approach of subjective judgment, we are saying that it is the degree of belief of a person. So, the belief a person attaches to an event based on his or her available information. This reasoning holds only under the assumption of rationality, which assumes the people act coherently. So this particular approach only looks at what is the belief of the person, but the belief of the person is not independent. It is based on the events or the information that the person has. So, for example, what would be the probability of an individual uh, getting getting pregnant? Now, this degree of belief is from the person, and it is based on the available information to the person. So, if the person knows that they had a particular uh, intercourse, then they should be able to have a higher degree that they have conceived. But also similarly, subjective judgment applies to contraceptive uptake. What is the probability that someone you do uh, you do contraceptive counseling will take this particular kind of contraception? If you went and you're offering counseling on a method of contraception, you should be able to understand uh, that what information is available to this person, but also what is the level of belief of this person. Then from there, you're able to understand the subjective probability that this person may take this particular kind of contraceptive. Now, let's provide a more specific definition here. Imagine a lottery where you can win an amount of money equal to S if event E occurs. So here we are saying that if you win, you can win S if E occurs. If this team wins, you will earn 60,000. Now, to participate, you have to buy one ticket. Now, which is the price you will be willing to pay to participate in the lottery? So, if you indicate the price as pi e, comma s, meaning that if I pay the ticket and this team wins, I will get the S money. Now, the probability of event E is given by this figure, that the probability that E will occur will mean will equals to pi if I pay, if I pay and E occurs, then I will earn this money divided by the money earned. Now that is a direct explanation of the subjective probability. But also we have another example here on subjective judgment. That imagine you want to predict the probability that your favorite football team will win the match tomorrow. You have the possibility to participate in a lottery where if the team wins, you obtain a prize of 1,000 euros. Otherwise, you gain nothing. So, the prize here which is the price you would be willing to pay to participate. So let's say you are very confident about your team capabilities and you're willing to pay 700 euros. Hence, the probability your team wins the match tomorrow will be calculated by the probability of your team winning tomorrow will be if your team wins the pie, the pi is the pi is the constructive assumption there that if your team wins, you will be able to earn $1,000. I mean euros. You divide it by 1,000. You see? Then you can be able to see that your figure is 0.7. So the subjective judgment there would be that my team is going to win. However, if you offer the lesser value, for example, the price you're willing to pay, if the price you're willing to pay is is less than this figure, then subjectively you already know that this person is not going to, the probability that the team is going to win is going to be less. Similarly, it also occurs when people go to the market to buy certain goods. When they see the quality of a particular, the price they are paying for something is not right, then they reduce the money that they are going to pay. For example, if you wanted to go and buy a utensil or a phone in the market, and then they told you that the price you should pay for this, okay, the price of this phone is $10,000. Then you look at the phone and you feel it is not the quality that you would want. Now the price you're willing to pay will reduce, and definitely the probability that you will buy the phone lessen. However, if you realize that the phone is actually a very good one, but you may not be able to raise the $10,000, you will push your price that you're willing to pay to about 9,000 or to about 8,000. And that will mean that the probability that you could buy the phone are higher. So up to that far, I'm thinking that I'm going to end. To conclude subjective judgment, we have just said here that subjective judgment probability relies on personal judgment. It also relies on expert opinions or available information to estimate probabilities. It is used when historical data may be lacking and experts or stakeholders need to provide their inputs. For example, experts are assessing the efficacy of a new vaccine for a specific disease. It is subjective and may vary based on the opinion of different experts. It may not always provide precise estimates, and the accuracy depends on the expertise and the information that is available. So the same apply to COVID. The assessment on the efficacy of the vaccine depends on subjective judgment. For example, if you're using if you're using uh, AstraZeneca, if you're using JJ, they are all on subjective judgment, and therefore the probability that someone who used AstraZeneca uh, uh, or used the Johnson and Johnson or used the Pfizer to be able to assess the efficacy of the three new vaccines would be based on a subjective judgment. Someone who used AstraZeneca will subjectively say that my two doses were able to protect me effectively. And I feel the vaccine is very important. Whereas someone who uses JJ would subjectively again give information that it works very well. Likewise, the experts who make JJ vis-a-vis the ones who make AstraZeneca would be able to give information about their own vaccines, and that would mean that the expertise or the information that they have given would change the opinions or the probability of someone taking a particular kind of vaccination. So